Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Tate gives Holly surprising advice after she fails to get Nicole to accept the truth. Again, Marlena brings Eric's christening gown to the apartment for Jude. As they bandy the event, Marlena gasps upon learning Eric accepted Nicole's offer to host it without talking to Sloane first. Marlena advises he be more sensitive to other people when it comes to his complicated relationship with Nicole. He's trying his stylish and urges his mama to stop fussing. She just wants him and Sloane to be happy. They move on to agitating Tate. Eric admits he thinks Holly's not telling the verity. Mary's furrows her brow at Eric at the DiMera manse. Nicole tries to engage a sullen Holly, but she's worried Tate is still in the halfway house. She tells Nicole what happened on New Year's Eve wasn't his fault, but her own. Nicole assumes Holly's tone, condemning to deal with trauma. Nicole indeed, she started to condemn herself for not knowing what was going on with her own son. But Nicole knows Holly doesn't do medicines, so she criticized herself for no reason. She urges Holly to be kinder to herself and leaves to pick up effects for the christening. Holly looks up the halfway house on her phone. Further divination books for Aries season. Holly scowls in his room at the halfway house. Tate tries to reuse his passions by journaling as instructed by his therapist. As he recounts what happened with Holly, he wonders if not seeing her might be a good thing. Perhaps I don't need her in my life presently. Stephanie meets Everett in the square to quit as the Spectator's PR establishment. Everett understands why she wouldn't want to work with him directly and suggests she deal with Chad rather. He still doesn't understand what happened to him, but he realizes there are further gaps in his memory than he originally allowed. For case, he can't flashback his father. Harris opens his door to Xander. So, you wanna let me in, the Scot glibly says, or are you hysterical? I am going to shoot you? Once outside, Xander thanks the operative for helping him make bail. Harris states he couldn't ID his shooter, so the judge made the right call. Xander insists he's a changed man. Nothing's more important to him than being a good person for his son and the woman he loves. He's innocent. Further, the pater Xander could have used in Harris's doorway. Xander leans toward the operative with a wry expression. In the square, Stephanie recalls asking Everett about his father formerly, and he just zoned out. She figured it was a sensitive subject and no way asked again. Everett reveals he's considering hypnotherapy, but he's spooked of what might come up. Especially since he's been told he's done terrible effects. Stephanie suggests he could learn there was a mitigating factor and that he's a different person now. Still, Everett ends as he wonders if effects could perhaps work out for them if that should be the case. She knows he doesn't have a lot of people to lean on, so she wouldn't vanish on him, but he knows where she's going with this. She says it's not insolvable and that they will figure it out when it's all said and done. I'll take it, he tearfully says. He asks her not to give up on him and leaves. Further new cast member could be the key for will trend in the square. Everett gapes ahead with a drawn expression. Watch Days on Peacock. $5.99 by now. As Xander starts to leave, Harris offers him a glass of scotch. Harris believes Xander's innocent. He knows what it's like to be indicted of doing commodity he didn't. He's shamefaced of plenitude of effects, however, and is trying to turn over a new splint. He gets the print. Xander is doing the same thing. Xander says he's done a lot of stupid effects, but he wouldn't throw down everything he now has to shoot a Bobby. He doesn't indeed know. Harris asks who would want to set him up. From the DiMera manse, Holly calls the halfway house. Espousing a proud tone, she asks to speak to Tate as his mama. When Tate takes the call on a community phone, Holly tells him how bad she feels this is passing to him. Tate points out there's commodity she can do about it. Holly worries if Nicole knew the verity, she'd fall piecemeal like she did after losing her baby. Tate understands that she's not being selfish and is just trying to cover her mama. He suggests she no way tell the verity. Just take care of your mama. Further, Tate's plot point. Jamie Martin man baffled at Everett bumps into Marlena in the domain. He relays how hysterical he's of what might come up in hypnotherapy. Marlena counters that not knowing could be worse and assures him she'll be there every step of the way. He promises to be at their coming session. With crossed arms, Jada side-eyes Stephanie while in the square. Stephanie stops Jada, who tries to breath past her. As victims of Everett's falsehoods, Stephanie asks if they can talk about it. Jada exclaims she's the bone who was cheated on while Stephanie was the other woman who helped break up her marriage. A stupefied Stephanie points out she didn't know Everett was married. Jada muses she had to have suspected there was a reason she no way met his musketeers or parents. Perhaps she didn't do any digging so as not to squinch up her perfect life. Stephanie blasts Jada, who remains accusatory and stalks down. Further, the voice rivals beautiful love story in the church, and emotional Nicole gapes hardly ahead. Nicole lights a candle in the church and starts to supplicate as Eric enters. He's there to finalize the christening details. She explains she's been talking to God a lot recently after everything she's been through. Unfortunately, she hasn't heard anything from him yet. Eric suggests she keep hearkening. He confesses that he overheard on her and Sloane. He was upset they weren't getting on, but it did his heart good to see her help Sloane calm Jude. He wants her to know how important her fellowship means to him. An emotional Nicole shares the sentiment. In Harris' room, Xander claims there are a number of people in Salem who would love to do him in. With EJ at the top of the list, he assumed it was him, but he doesn't know why EJ would want to do in Harris. Xander points out Harris is the only viewer. Are you sure you do'n't flashback anything at all? Harris insists he doesn't, but indeed if he did, he wouldn't tell the high suspect. Still, he'll do everything in his power to clear Xander's name. He just has to be patient. Holly pays the price. Alex's offer, magical date night and Kate's mission Days of Our Lives reveal that Holly Jonas' concession will shoot shockwaves and leave Nicole DiMera mealy over her son staying this long to clear Tate Black's name. Once EJ DiMera sets Tate's release in stir, Brady Black and Teresa Donovan will be agitated to drink him home. Of course, that means Tate will need his room back at the townhouse, so Teresa will need nearly differently to stay. Alex Kyriakis will deliver an assignation to Teresa and hope she agrees to move back in, so it seems he'll stop playing hard to get soon enough. Days spoilers say Brady will plan some father-son cling time once Tate's out of the halfway house, but Tate will struggle to get his mind off Holly. Despite what Holly put him through, Tate truly cares about her and wouldn't be suitable to turn those passions off. Back with Nicole, she'll advertise Holly's discipline and refuse to back down. Holly may end up in a recovery program, a no-nonsense academy for just girls or both. Other Days spoilers say Xander Cook will do his stylish to gather some substantiation and prove he couldn't have been the bone who fired at Harris Michaels on the Lading Jetties. Sarah Horton will help Xander as they eventually take the evidence they've come up with to Rafe Hernandez, so it may be enough to officially get Xander cleared. Rafe will have other effects to worry about in his particular life, grounded on his belief that Jada Hunter and Bobby Stein aka Everett Lynch may still be fairly married. Jada will work hard to prove the divorce is final, but will she be successful? As for Everett, he'll suffer his first hypnotism session with Marlena Evans so that'll lead to him recalling some pictorial recollections. Everett will open up to Stephanie Johnson about those recollections as he tries to make sense of them, so she'll have another reason to feel compassion for him. Eric Brady will have a discussion with Stephanie about remission and maybe leave her tempted to just wipe the slate clean with Everett, no matter what his history as Bobby might look like. Next, DOL suckers can anticipate Marlena and Paulina Price to connect as musketeers and bandy Paulina's forthcoming treatment. It looks like Paulina may need some follow-up care related to her cancer, but she'll still feel good about effects with Lexi Carver watching over her as a guardian angel. Over with Kate Roberts Brady, she'll make it her charge to secure Lucas Horton's freedom. Now that Clyde Weston is in the wind, Kate wouldn't see why Lucas has to stay at the Friary, and she wouldn't want him transferred back to Statesville or another captivity installation moreover. Days spoilers say Kate will work toward making Lucas a free man, and with his fierce mama in his corner, Lucas has every reason to anticipate some positive news. After Chad DiMera stops by Abigail DiMera's grave, he'll meet up with Leo Stark at The Spectator, where Everett will bring updates on Stefan's legal drama so far.